what is holding space meant to mean?
Getting into your framework, your way of thinking.
That sounds a bit flirty.
Yeah.
Correct.
I'd hold her spaces.
Welcome back, guys, to episode 9 of the This Could Be Something Interesting podcast, and we are joined today by the legend herself, Rach Cox, also known as Om & Bass, also known as Big Gay Unicorn Rach, or many other names. What other names do you go by, Rach?
Outrageous.
Outrageous by Wim
yeah.
Hof, yeah.
Yeah.
Outrageous.
Uncle Gay Ray by my nephews. By another nephew, Mumcle Rach. So yeah, there's some
Many
that I
names.
won't say that are a bit triggery, that are a bit
Yeah.
offbeat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We'll leave those ones for off air. So we are going to be talking about probably a whole bunch of random shit today. But one of the kind of things that I really love about you, Rach, and what I think you do so well is you kind of bring this like very light touch and like humor to spirituality, which I think is like very often there can be this like seriousness around it. And I kind of like, it's almost like the word that came into my head is almost like sacred humor. Because they almost sound, and I don't know why, and they probably shouldn't, but in my mind they sound like two very different things. It's like you can't have something that's sacred. You can't make not making fun of it, but kind of having fun with it almost,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like how have you managed to do that? Because I think I've seen you know, when you're teaching yoga, you are very what's the word, kind of respectful of traditions, you know, and of holding a sacred space for people, but also you do manage to kind of bring this like fun element to everything you do. So how do you balance those two things?
First of all, costumes, Tom.
True. Costumes always help, like the unicorns.
Get a giant dragon tattoo on your head and everything will find you funny for the rest of your life. Well, first of all, appropriation is one of the things that pisses me off on the planet. So of course I'm going to pay homage to, you know, the traditions and the trueness and the essence of yoga or whatever practice. That might be Tai Chi or Qigong or Kung Fu or Muay Thai that I'm teaching as well. But all of that being said, I haven't ever met a good teacher that doesn't have a sense of humor. Not one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I think
true.
your dog agrees as well, man.
Yeah.
You hear that dog?
Yeah.
Whose dog is that?
I literally, like, I'm literally watching him
Is that
walking the
you?
dog right now, and like he just walks the dog, and it just barks the whole time. I'm like, your dog hates you. Anyway,
Yeah,
No,
does hate
don't
you?
take away from this special moment. That dog just agrees so aggressively.
So much.
Well,
With every
exactly.
fibre of its being and soul.
Exactly.
That dog is God. Definitely.
But no,
So,
that's a great point though about the teachers. Like you kind of have to have like a sense of humor.
Yeah, you
kind of
do.
thing, right?
I mean, let's face it, we're in constant trauma, turmoil, pain, and suffering. That is basically what life is. And like to be able to extract joy in any which way possible. Not only that, but to disseminate information which otherwise would be so lofty and full of dogma and bullshit that made people feel less than, so they don't even understand the terminology that people use. For example, sacred or holding space. It means that people are brought down, you know, teachers are taken down off a pedestal, people are brought up to a level of normal humanity, and everyone can just laugh at themselves predominantly. I'm not laughing at anyone else pretty much except myself the whole time. I don't need any other examples because I'm a giant prick and I provide all my own content myself. I don't need nothing from no one else. But it's a good leveler. It makes everything human and everything accessible and joyful. You're just endorphins, man. Crack on.
I think that's like the other great thing about you is that like you are kind of like And this is what makes you, I think, very like approachable and accessible to anyone, is because like you say, you do take the piss out of yourself. You will wear whatever the fuck you want to wear. As like, you know, the crazier you can be, the more colourful you can be, you're gonna flip and wear it, right?
Yeah.
Even if that means wearing nothing. Like,
Correct. It's almost like, you know me, Tom.
yeah, exactly. But that's the great thing about it, is that like you are literally opening up these really important practices to people who wouldn't otherwise even kind of consider getting involved, because they're like, what the fuck, to your point, like, what the fuck is this lofty bullshit?
Yeah, it's absolute bullshit. It's lost all meaning in its ridiculous, convoluted, lofty bullshit. It's just, what does it even mean anymore? Who is it benefiting? Pretty much no one, except rich people who can afford it, or people who are confused by it but feel pressured to do it. So yeah, wearing ridiculous clothes makes me either repel people like some sort of poisonous creature, and I'm okay with that. It's probably quite true. And yeah, having a bit of a foul mouth and being a bit of a chav means that nobody thinks I'm looking down at them.
I think there really is something about wearing ridiculous stuff. I totally agree with that.
Yeah,
and I think
because you mentioned that before, actually, didn't you, Ben? About how like you can't help but like
even if you sort of feel like dickhead, you might feel like that. Like, because even if I'm wearing something ridiculous, I'm like dickhead, but I'm like, I'm goddamn fabulous dickhead, and you can't deny it. That's it. And I think there's something also like about like the kind of what is it? Wearing normal clothes is a type of ego, because you're trying to maintain this sense of self-imagery, and there is something about like wear something ridiculous. Go for it. If you don't normally do it, and walk down the street, and you'll feel more aware of yourself than ever before. You're going to be so uncomfortable for a bit, but there's a point where I think where you actually let go of that, where you're like, actually, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't mean anything. But I think it's so real to judge someone for it, and then you do it, and then you're sort of like, oh, it doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't matter. It's just the setting that it seems inappropriate in. It's like, I don't know, there's something fucking great about just wearing something truly ridiculous.
Well, it's our conditioning as well, isn't it? Not to stand out. Don't stand out, blend in, go with the crowd, go with the flow. And, you know, you get as many people who love you as they do hate you. I get haters all the time.
Yeah.
Couldn't give a shit.
Luckily, I live in Brighton, and I had a sea of compliments.
Yeah. Put yourself in a homoerotic situation. Everyone's going to love you, Ben. I think they made Brighton for me.
It is nice to just like, I mean, the thing is, you can wear whatever you want wherever you go. The difference is you probably might get a bit of shit for it. That's the difference.
Yeah.
That's literally the difference.
Rach is flipping rocking her uniform costumes in the middle of like hottest Oxfordshire.
Yeah, it's not normal where I live.
Yeah. It's a different vibe, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one thing going to a festival looking like an absolute unicorn turd, and then there's another thing walking through a council estate in East London, South London, or the depths of Oxford. It's like, and people honestly will just come up to me and go, "Oh, you look not. You're very colourful," and I think they mean it as a compliment. It's like, yeah, I'm colourful, but that's more of an observation than a compliment. But they mean it as a compliment. But my autism's kicking off. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you want to convey? That I'm just a bit weird, and that's also okay. But it does attract a lot of attention, obviously from children. But then I have to carve out the caveat that I'm not child appropriate. Don't let them listen to me, because I fucking swear every 2 seconds. I look like I should be a children's TV presenter, but don't let them around me. Do you know what I mean? Get him away from the big unicorn. She's angry.
Come on, step away.
She'll go off at any moment.
I think it's really interesting what both of you were saying there, in terms of like there is almost like a because you were talking last time, Ben, about cold showers, right? Cold exposure, and it's like this kind of like that discomfort and getting used to that discomfort. It's almost like, you know, I get to your point, Ben, if you're not used to, if you normally do dress up, quote unquote, normally, like I do with all my, you know, plain black hoodie. Wearing something really random is almost like just conditioning yourself and practicing like getting uncomfortable every day. And there's different levels of that, right? There's like the kind of cold exposure is almost like an internal discomfort, just in terms of the feelings within yourself. Just, well, I guess everything is feelings within ourselves, right, if you really want to get deep. But if you were to go outside and then be exposed to other people and what they're thinking of you, that's again another element where we're kind of getting uncomfortable. So I think for anyone listening to this right now, that's everyone's kind of homework. For anyone listening, you need to go out tomorrow wearing something really flipping wild.
Come to my house. You can help yourself to my wardrobe. There's not one normal thing in there.
Exactly.
And the thing is, a lot of people have it as well. You know, they have the clothes. There's just like
everyone's got something, haven't they? From like a fancy dress party 10 years ago.
But there's often just some kind of shyness to, like, even if maybe they do it every now and again, it's sort of like there's a hesitance to do it, you know. But it's a sort of, it is a good general practice, I think, for people just to fucking go for it, because you don't know what you're also doing for that other person that saw you wearing that. You don't know what that turns into after, and that's fucking great. Like, because you might have just inspired someone else to maybe give that a go, and that's like, you know, the world needs just a bit more of that ridiculousness.
I think you should be Prime Minister on July the 4th.
Jesus Christ, no.
Okay, fine, don't be. Decision made.
Okay, thank God.
Oh dear.
The other thing I wanted to ask you about, Rach, is your thoughts on manifestation, because I think it's one of these kind of like terms that's like a pretty loaded term. You've got all like, you know, The Secret and things like that, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna sit here and I'm just, all this stuff is gonna come to me. I think you though are such a great example of like somebody who just, like, I've seen this time and time again where you will just be like, okay, I want this to happen, and you just make it happen. And it's not just like you're sitting there on your ass just, you know, praying and meditating. You are actually like making shit happen, right, through your actions, like day to day. But the way in which things happen are so like just like, what, how is that even possible? What I'm keen to hear your thoughts on manifestation, and like what your experience has been like that, and how do you personally manifest? Like, what's your kind of relationship like with that word?
Well, the word, first of all, makes me just think that I need to call it woman fest.
It's quite sexist, isn't it?
Straight up. Yeah. But it works. Like, it's 100% a thing that happens. There is no doubt in my mind. There is no doubt in everything that I see around me that everything is manifestation, not only of intention of individuals, but as a collective. But to stick to the individual stuff, where I've manifested stuff into 3D, and like you say, stuff happens through synchronicities, and sometimes it happens really quickly. Sometimes it's like from a side where we're like, did that actually just... I literally told Tom about that yesterday, and now it's fucking happened. I've even got my pen out to be really demonstrative with it. but it is 100% a thing. And I'm going to give an example of us in lockdown. We together just decided we were going to do an online festival to help people get through lockdown and all the bullshit for mental health in particular, as well as physical health and connection. And so we did that. And I just said to you, right, I'm going to become friends with Wim Hof. I'm going to get Keno McGregor. I've decided that we're going to start getting people, like, you know, access to different people and different things. And literally every single thing happened. And then I was like, a bit blown away. Like, did that actually happen? And all the way through it, you were like, Bates, this is really weird, because you literally just said you were going to do that. And it's just happened.
But and even like, you know, the people as well, like you were having conversations with like Eckhart Tolle and his like
the Dalai Lama.
Yeah, I know. And these people like legit, like it was only because like there was some, like there were dates they couldn't make, but like all of the, and it was like, what? Like, how is this even flipping happening right now?
Even that Rhonda Byrne who wrote the Secret.
Yeah.
He sent in a lecture for us.
Really?
And she at first said, no, I don't really like the idea of it. And then I just sat there and did a little meditation. A Joe Dispenza one, by the way, that's my favourite. And it's not all about just sitting and meditating. It's like Eckhart Tolle says, you can sit and manifest and set an intention all you want, but if you don't put anything in process, then how are you going to get it in flow? So yeah, it definitely is not about sitting down and doing fuck all. You've got to do both.
I think that one of the best descriptions I've kind of heard of it, and what I've seen with you, Rach, and this kind of seems to be what you have done, is it's almost like when you're manifesting, people talk about kind of visualize and put yourself in that end outcome. It's almost like your brain, or your, you know, whether you want to call it your higher mind or your subconscious, or however you prefer to think about it in your head, right? It's like you like, once you visualized yourself in a position and you know you are this person who has these connections, your subconscious mind or your higher mind or whatever it is knows the steps to take to get there. So you will just, if you really can be in that state, you will naturally just carry out those actions. So like what you were doing, Rach, you because you're like, I'm going to be friends with Wim Hof, I already am friends with Wim Hof, you then have no qualms to just dropping him a DM and being like, hey dude, let's chat.
Yeah.
And then it happens.
It just literally happened.
Whereas what would otherwise happen, what most people do is they're like, I'm going to manifest this. Okay, let's see if Wim Hof's messaged me. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, like, you've actually got to do the stuff. But when you believe it to that extent that you did, and I saw this, and like the energy you had through that period, you literally were like, I'm just everyone's best friend. Like, you know, you were just like voice noting people on Instagram all day and like calling people and emailing their agents of like.
I think some of this could be considered stalking, the way that you're describing it, Tom, but
well, you did it very well.
It's a fine line,
manifestation flip side is stalking, but you know.
That part of the secret they didn't talk about.
Exactly, yeah. They didn't talk about all the stalking involved.
The dirty secret.
That's so good. Oh, yeah, that's it. Oh, man, that's a fucking excellent new addition to go.
Yeah. There you go. Look, you should message Rhonda Byrne, Rach, and be like,
I've got an idea. You're not going to like it.
But I'll manifest that they love it.
Exactly. It's the unwritten chapters to the secret. The dirty secret.
The dirty secret.
In a Bristolian accent.
It has to be in the Bristolian accent, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, no, I love that. Such a good point.
The manifestation is something that, like you just said about the visualization, like the visualization, I think, is the biggest key in it. Because if you don't visualize, you don't feel it. Your feelings literally attract everything. And so, because I truly believed it, not just in my head like some sort of disconnected bypassing psycho, like I believed it with every single fiber of my body. So, and then as Joe Dispenza says, you become a magnet for exactly what you've charged yourself to be. I call it going shopping in the void, because we have to pop up to the void, you see, mentally and spiritually. You have to knob off to the void, decide what you're going to get, right? Joe Dispenza's going to love this review. Knob off to the void. Figure out what you want to get. I was up there having a little chat with people, you know, like Wim Hof, like Russell Brand, like Keno McGregor, like Rhonda Byrne, having a full-blown conversation, and then coming back from my meditation and then just emailing them, and then it all works.
Even that whole, I mean, we need to be careful because we could talk about this for like hours, but even the whole thing with like Russell Brand as well, right, and all the synchronicities around that, and like even just like seeing how that's like unfolding even now, it's just so wild. It's so mental.
It's literally mental and intentional, but yeah, it is very, very strange. Last time I saw him, he decided to say to me, "Are you right, you little eccentric?" And I was like, pot calling kettle black, mate. You're like the most eccentric person ever. I like that I bewilder you with my eccentricities.
Love it.
There, bless him.
So awesome. You mentioned something earlier, Rach, about the when we were talking about the kind of the kind of comedy around spirituality and like some of the words that people use, these like lofty words. You've got a really funny thing you use in your stand-up routine around that, around like some of the what you like ask people like what are some of the words, what are some of the like common things you get, like what are the really common ones that people often like call out that are kind of, you know, these like lofty terms,
disgusting things that come out of people's mouths.
Yeah.
Starseed.
Starseed.
I mean, it just makes my face.
That.
What is that?
What does that even mean?
Okay, so they believe that they are the essence of a star that belongs to God. I mean, it just makes me want to do a sick in my mouth and knock them out. I mean, it's horrific.
Starfeed.
No,
What,
Starseed.
that's something someone calls themselves, or?
Oh yeah, I've had a message from someone on Instagram who literally has got an American accent, because I believe they must be American, for my own xenophobic racism, whatever, I don't care. And basically it's like, I'm an official starseed. And I'm like, how are you an official fake something?
Did it have the blue tick?
They've been verified, yeah, blue tick starseed.
Was blue? I mean, fucking hell, yeah. That's was that like like, were they saying that other people aren't, or was that just
Clearly they are an official starseed, thereby better than everyone else.
Yeah, that's a wild piece of language.
It's a wild piece
That's a
of
wild
language.
piece of language.
What else? What else is there? What other ones? I haven't even heard of that.
Have you not? What about, well, you've heard people say I really resonate with something.
Yeah, resonate.
I mean, what a dick move. Like, you don't resonate. You don't resonate with an oak tree, mate. Resonance is a sound. You like the oak tree. Don't you think?
Resonate. Depends on the tree.
I like
Disgusts me.
holding space is always fun. That makes me laugh as well.
How are you supposed to hold space?
Yeah.
Dickheads. Again, everyone just made up a fake language so they sounded better than normal people, and done the exact reverse of what spirituality is supposed to be, and made themselves this giant spiritual, fragile, may I add, ego, that as soon as you throw anything at them as well, they're all of a sudden absolutely devastated and triggered. There's another word. Everyone's freaking triggered. Do you know people who can be triggered? People in the army who use guns. No one else. No one.
What actually is like? What is holding space meant to mean?
Teaching a class.
Holding space for it's like
I mean, I guess that's what it is, isn't it?
getting into your framework. I'm getting into your
Oh
way
wow,
of thinking.
that sounds a bit flirty.
I'm getting into
I'll get into her framework. I'd hold her spaces.
It was just
Clearly
one
used
big
that line
flirt.
before, right?
Well, yeah, I like to make everything a big flirt. Either very angry or massively flirty. Nobody knows where they stand. Yeah. Someone. Oh, what about people calling themselves light workers? Oh,
Light workers. I have heard this actually. Yeah.
Light workers.
Lame.
I actually don't know what it. I actually don't know what it means.
It is like
it's like anyone who's kind of doing like spiritual work, basically, isn't it? Is that what it is?
Yeah, they bestowed upon themselves.
They've bestowed the title of light
the
worker.
title of light worker, which to me, again, growing up as a builder's daughter, I've done a lot of heavy work. I've dug holes, I've lifted bricks and breeze blocks and concrete things and, you know, metal scaffolding. I'm like, mate, you want to get yourself a proper job, bruv, if you think that being a light worker is something to be proud of. And you're not Yoda, you don't have, you're not a light worker.
That's true, actually. Yeah, it does kind
You're
of
a
sound
prick.
like it does sound like you should have a lightsaber. Like if you're a light worker, surely you
Yeah.
should have a lightsaber as well.
Yeah, they're doing all the light work. Lazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Lazy.
Yeah, that is a weird one. Yeah, it is one of those like sick in your mouth things. So it's kind of it has got to that stage where it's just kind of like, oh my god, really? Like, and then you're right. Like it's so. I mean, even that in itself, like light work, like making themselves this. It's almost like creates this hierarchy.
Exactly.
And that's what it does. And then everyone else is inferior. It's like I'm a light worker, and you're all gonna worship me and take my
You're
class.
like little Gollum in the darkness, yeah? And I'm going to be your light worker. Fuck off.
But do you know what the other thing I've thought as well, and this is really interesting, like there is so much, all the spiritual people I've kind of got to know are often so flipping traumatized and just like deeply fragile and wounded individuals. Very often, it's funny, isn't it? We always end up in career. I've really noticed this with people. Like we end up in careers of things that we're actually not really good at ourselves. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like because we want to teach people. It's like even if you're not in a teaching role, it's kind of like we do things where our own inefficiencies lie. Maybe because it makes ourselves feel better about ourselves or something. I don't know. It's kind of
that's
weird.
kind of interesting.
But
maybe
but
not.
I've noticed this like particularly in the spiritual space where they are very, very fragile individuals. But then it kind of worries me a little bit as well, because I think even just calling yourself a light worker or being in one of those positions, I think that can carry a lot of weight, because people do look at you like, oh, you have all the answers. And maybe, and you know, this isn't necessarily like, I don't want to sound like we're just criticizing all the kind of anyone who's in.
Oh,
like,
I am, and I'm up for it.
Rach is, but like, but even like, even, you know, because I think people can get into this almost like this cycle where maybe you get into these kind of positions, maybe even just if you're like a yoga teacher, right? Like you get into it with good intentions, but then you end up in a position where it's like, oh, now I feel a lot of pressure that people see me as like a, you know, a spiritual person, but I haven't even got all my own shit figured out. So like, how do you, like, for anyone who is in these kind of careers or professions, like how do you kind of tackle, like even for you, Rach, like, you know, because I think you'll be the first person to admit, right, you have your own struggles and stuff, right? So it's kind of like, how do you balance those two things of like, hey, like I don't have all my shit figured out, but I'm still going to help you go on this journey, you know?
I find it quite easy because I hate bullshit. I hate lying, and I find it really uninspirational when people pretend that they're perfect and enlightened. It's the least inspirational and attractive thing in the world if I think that someone is very, very pure. And I know priests that I hang out with as mates because they've got a past and they're open about it. It's like I've got about 8 to 10 mental health diagnoses. I've done every single drug. You know, I've had a prolific womanizing problem in the past. I'm extraordinarily open about absolutely everything. I don't think that I'm a particularly great person. I'm a bit of a twat. And I don't think I'm better than one other single human on this planet. And it's really easy. I find that so easy to do and be like that. And it pisses a lot of people off. And that's brilliant too. But the only person I can say that I think is quite good at not being a dickhead about how evolved they may or may not be, but other people perceive them to be, is Sadhguru, who you and I have been to see. Cracks jokes all the time, swears, very human, although other people pedestal him. He himself is cool as fuck. Wim Hof, who did this awesome typical guru thing with me. Like, he doesn't think he's a guru. He's definitely not what I would call a guru, but in old school terms, he's definitely a guru. He just means a teacher, right? So we were sat on a riverbank and we were having a laugh, and then he just turns around to me and goes, "Rich, seems like we've got a lot in common. We're very similar. We like nature and dirty jokes." And for a moment I went, yeah, I'm the same as Wim Hof. Oh, we're just the same. We're like brothers. We're the same. We dovetail together, but we're not the fucking same. He's a legend and I'm a divine fucking slut. And basically he had that power to make me feel equal, like, and that is something that I think is really cool. That's when you know someone's really powerful, because he himself had no intention of putting himself above anyone. He did it in a really cool way.
I love that. That's so true. And I think that's so, I don't know, I can't quite kind of put into words what that is, but it's almost like it opens up this like bridge for like a deeper connection with that person, right? Because I think and it's actually really difficult, I think, to teach anything remotely spiritual, if like you can't open that bridge for connection,
it's impossible. I think you're right.
Yeah, exactly. And like, but then how can you open that bridge when people feel so far away from you? They feel so disconnected from you. I think that's such an interesting point, because you could, and I think you're so bang on the money there, because you know, whenever I see anyone who's kind of making out like they're perfect, I just don't trust them instantly.
Engage. Bye.
Just instantly, like my trust switches off. Whereas if you can just acknowledge, I think it's such a powerful thing, like just acknowledging that you are a human and you have flaws and you're not perfect. It's just such a like, oh wow, like they're like me, like, you know, and it almost gives you permission to engage more fully and more openly yourself, because otherwise it's like, oh, I have to impress teacher kind of thing.
And I guess this is the whole thing with, you know, saying about comedy, you know, that's what you're doing, you're putting yourself to the front. Rather than you actually, you know, it's like you trip up, and rather than like, oh, ignore that, I'm such an idiot, you're like, I'm going to point that fucker out.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the best thing.
Some glitter on
and
it.
We're going to stay here for a while now, because you know, rather than, you know, what we most of the time do, try to sustain that identity that we're carrying on. We're like, okay, no, let's crush it. I've done it again. Let's do it. Let's destroy it again. And I think it allows people themselves to do that. It allows the space for them within themselves. I think it is in humor, in conversations, it allows people to also show their imperfections and laugh about them. I think it's that line between spirituality and humor. I mean, humor's just a funny thing. I mean, you know, the principle.
It is a funny thing, darling.
It is a funny thing. The act of, you know, someone laughing is like, or a comedian. You know, you give them tension. I'm going to make you tense about this situation, and then you give them the permission.
Yeah. To
let go of that tension, and I guess in terms of as a spiritual practice, you know, we have this tension about, or maybe in relation to identity, and then you can let go of it. It's the permission to let go of it, and I guess it is somewhere in between the lines of humor and letting go, isn't it?
Well, it's literally that, exactly. So it's not. So comedy came from as a psychological tool from like the Victorian times. Basically, it's obviously been around for a long time, but that's when they started to study comedy as a way to be able to deal with trauma and move through it. So it's a very specific tool psychologically, and spiritually it literally does, I hate to use this term because of what we just discussed, but it literally sheds light on some dark shit. So it means that you can actually go into the darkness properly without cutting off from it. So it's a really important tool. And then someone else said something the other day who does a lot of men's work, another word I'd like to bastardize, but I won't at this point. And he was like, the court jester was always someone who pointed out stuff that other people couldn't see. The role of them is to show everyone the parts that they can't see, so the jester, to show the people the parts that they can't see and can't deal with, that they're perhaps leaving out of policy, perhaps leaving out of their daily lives, out of their relationships, out of their own well-being, in this case. So it's an important role that has come through centuries, and also it's in my stack of cards. So the court jester is obviously really important.
I've never really thought about it like that, but that's really quite powerful. Like, and you're so right. Like it is one of those things where you literally, like to what you said, like you are shining a light on the darkness. These areas that people would rather not go, and by having a bit of fun with it, you're kind of easing that discomfort around, like, oh, I'm scared to go in this room. You know, whereas you're kind of shining some unicorn colored light in the room and making it all a bit more funny and like less scary to look in there, right? It's so it's such an interesting way of putting it. I've never really considered it like that before, but yeah, it's so and I guess because I know you said this before as well, Ben, in terms of like it's one of those things where like the reason people always, it's like that awkward laughter you get with comedians where they say something that is like unspoken, but everyone knows it and everyone feels it, and they're all kind of like, like looking around like they've been found out, right? Like, oh God, I thought nobody knew this about me. I thought nobody knew I did this weird thing.
Yeah.
And it almost is. Sometimes you watch, like, I can kind of recall this where I've watched comedians and they've said something. I can't remember like exact things, but they've said something, and it's almost like a liberating experience where you're like, oh, it's not just me that does that weird thing.
It's 100% liberating, exactly. Yeah. And connective. It levels everyone, so everyone connects as a human. It's like, this is just a human experience. Nobody gives a shit. Let it go.
Yeah, so
the only person
true.
judging it is you, and any other knob jockey who's judging it can bugger off. But it is, I know, I'm so genteel with my language.
That's why we love you, Rach.
That's why I've got 2 law degrees, obviously. Obviously.
Yeah,
and
that's
the
a whole story in itself that we haven't got time to go into. But
no, we don't.
We might have to do another round at some point.
Took a lot of time and a lot of cocaine to get me through those. So.
Yeah, that is
a lot of fingering.
A wild story in itself. We're going to have to bring you back on to walk us through the journey, because it has been quite a journey.
I don't think I'd like anyone else to
but
go
that's
through
going to be another episode. Anyway, I know you've got. I know you're kind of tight for time, Rich. So we'll let you go now. But we will drop the links to your socials in the show notes below. So go follow Rach at and Bass. Is it and Bass spelled out, isn't it? OMAND BASS, yeah, at and Bass. And if you are in the UK, or even if you're not in the UK, make sure you check out and Bass, because we've got the festival coming up in September, which is going to be amazing, as it always is. So go check it out, omandbass.co.uk. Go give Rach a follow on Instagram, and what else are you on now? TikTok. All the
TikTok just went viral for me being an angry little person.
Yeah, exactly. Cool, awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Rach. And
thank you so much for having me. What a wonderful little brother sandwich I've just had. I will be sure to let your mum know. Oh yeah, I text the mama Ann.
Oh, nice.
Mama Ann, shout out Mama Ann.
Shout out Mama Ann. Thank you so much, you intelligent, wonderful bastards.